Recently, the company Tevo reached out to me. They make 3D printers. They said they liked my channel and my woodworking, and they asked if I wanted to try out one of their printers, the Tevo Tornado. I thought about it. Would I use it? Do I need it? Does it have a place in my workshop? The more I thought about it, the more I needed to know. So I said yes. It showed up on my doorstep and I set it up. I'm not doing an unboxing or review video on this printer, there are plenty of those on YouTube. Instead, I wanted to explore 3D printing from the perspective of a craftsperson. 3D printing for the workshop, if you will. Everything seemed to be in working order, so I set out to the internet to find some stuff to print before trying to design something for myself. A quick search led me to Thingiverse, an online community of people all over the world sharing their 3D printable files with you so you can download them for free and upload yours in turn. It's incredible. I searched woodworking to find a vast list of usable stuff for the shop. I came across this featherboard and thought it wasn't a bad idea. I downloaded the files, then loaded them into Repetier, the software the Tevo manual suggested, and I hit print. Some hours later, I had the parts to an adjustable featherboard. I added some 1/4-20 nuts and threaded rod and gave her a test run. If you're unfamiliar with what a featherboard does, it's a safety device that holds your work firmly against, in this case, a table saw fence, so the workpiece doesn't drift, causing potential kickback. It also prevents the board from being shot back towards the operator because it only allows the workpiece to be fed in one direction. Another benefit is a super clean cut because the board is held firmly while you shift your hands during the cut. It seemed to work great. I recently got a big planer in my shop, and until I upgrade my dust collection system to keep up with it, I needed a way to adapt the 5-inch port to my 4-inch dust hose. So I designed an adapter in SketchUp, then exported the STL file and brought it into Repetier, where I could slice the file. The slicer is where you adjust things like your layer height, which determines how detailed your print will be, your resolution. You can also adjust infill density, which determines the strength of your piece. High resolution, high density prints are great, but they take a long time and more filament. For this piece, I adjusted my layer height to 0.4 millimeters with 11% density, and it shaved 2 hours off the print time. This was a completely utilitarian piece, so I didn't mind the lower resolution. Confident in my printing capabilities, I invested the time to print a spool holder for the PLA filament. This design came with the printer and it cleverly nests inside the extruded aluminum frame, which gives me so many ideas for tape and twine spools in the shop. There had been something missing in my life for some time now, and I thought it was time I remedied that. While I had more components printing, I headed down to the shop. I cut out a chunk of white oak and cleaned up the cut with a hand plane. I bored a shallow mortise with a Forstner bit and epoxied a rare earth magnet into the oak. I wasn't sure if my idea would work, but I mounted my print to my magnet block and headed outside. Unfortunately, the magnet wasn't strong enough to hold the 2-axis gimbal cup holder firmly to the tractor reliably. Oh well, zip ties to the rescue. I'm sure I could come up with a more elegant mounting solution, but for now, I have a working, swiveling cup holder. Thank you, Twin B on Thingiverse. On some prints, I was experiencing adhesion issues, and my buddy Daniel suggested using a washable glue stick on the bed, and that worked great. So quick tip there, and thank you, Daniel. I've got a million more ideas on how to use a 3D printer in the workshop, like this honing guide setup tool, blast gates for dust collection, specialized hangers for pegboard, replacement parts for machines, but really, I'd love to hear some of your ideas. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that 3D printers are a good tool to have in more of a woodworking, cabinet making, metalworking shop, an actual workshop? I think it's a great tool to add to your bag for making things like featherboards and jigs and handy little things around the shop like these chisel setup guides. I think that there are a lot of possibilities and you're only limited by your imagination and your kind of CAD designing skills, which I'm excited to get better at as I design more things to print. Things like dust collection. I want to look into making blast gates for my dust collection system. One of the biggest pet peeves a lot of people have are using 4-inch sewer pipe for their ducting and no dust collection fittings will work because they're designed for the thicker walled Schedule 40 pipe. So people are using duct tape and things like that. I think it would be really cool to design a blast gate, and if I do, I'll put the code out on Thingiverse so you guys can also print that. Thank you, Tevo, for sending me out the 3D printer. I think it's super awesome. I'm not an expert in 3D printing at all, but it was pretty easy to get up and running. So I think it's really super cool. I'm really jazzed on being able to have something work while I work. Until next time, guys, I'm Will Walker. This is the William Walker Company Project channel. I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks for watching.
You shouldn't hang on to the way you used to feel about me, feel about me. You know that we could just be friends if you forget about me, forget about me.